It's time now for Voices of Roatan, men and women like you who are making a difference here and how you can help them out. 101.1 Blue Wave Radio, Voices of Roatan is a program that the radio station has developed to talk about what goes on the island. And with me is Mark Flanagan, and we're at Bananarama, hanging out in front of the Vintage Pearl in a nice, quiet place, to talk about something that's coming up with the Soul Foundation. And it's the Golden Buoy, and the Golden Buoy is a challenge to the dive shop guys. And you used to be a diver, and you love the Soul Foundation. You've been with it pretty much from the beginning. So thank you for coming on.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah, like you said, the Golden Buoy is a challenge to all the local dive shops that we'd like to get them involved in helping us with some fundraising. All nonprofit organizations have to have funds to operate, right? And the purpose of the Soul Foundation, Soul stands for School of Life, is to provide academic and athletic programs for at-risk youth, primarily right here in Sandy Bay and in the West End area. So this is going to be the 6th annual Golden Buoy Challenge, and what we'd like to see is just the community getting involved and attending all of these events that are going to be hosted throughout the next month. We just had a 3-legged pub crawl last Friday, so that was happening in West End. We had a great turnout. There was, I think, 26 teams. There was 52 people staggering up and down West End in costumes, and they raised quite a bit of money. So that was the first one to kick it off, and hopefully we'll be seeing more throughout the weeks. And you should be able to learn about it on the website.
A three-legged
pub crawl. So you have to get your partner and tie up and come in fancy costume.
Is that going to be like an Olympic event?
If it is, I would do very poorly because I was the last finisher in the race. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it just helps raise awareness as well of what we are and who we are and what we're doing there.
Now on 101.1 FM, you can keep track of what events are coming up each week, and obviously, Mark, the whole goal is to change lives, and you've seen that happen with some of the kids. Explain what happened a few years back when the baseball team had a chance to actually leave Roatan and go to the mainland for the first time.
Yeah, we took a group of under 12 young boys over to La Ceiba to participate in a tournament there, and for many of them it was probably the first time they'd ever definitely been on an airplane. We flew over there. A lot of them, it was the first time they'd been off the island, and just seeing these kids, when they're sitting on the airplane and they're looking out the window, and you can just kind of see the light come on when they look down and they say, wow, that's where we live. Look how small it is. Look how small this place is. And then to go over to La Ceiba and be able to experience things like taking them to the mall and they'd never been on an escalator before, or they've never ridden in an elevator before. Just to get to see them have that kind of an exposure. And I hope, I don't know, maybe I'm overestimating it, but I hope for some of them it was a life-changing experience where they see there's something more out there, and it also gives them something to kind of strive for, and through these programs we're trying to provide those kind of opportunities for the young men and women that live in the area here.
Well, there's 80,000 plus people who live on the island, and at any number of times those are all in a state of flux. So there's always people here who've never heard of the Soul Foundation, who don't know what it does, who have no idea even how to begin to help. So the Golden Buoy is certainly a chance to take part in that. Now, the dive shops, you were a diver. These dive guys can be pretty competitive.
Yeah, they definitely get into the spirit of things, and each dive shop is looking to host one sort of an event, whether it's a horseshoe tournament or a barbecue or an underwater Easter egg hunt. These are just some of the examples of things that have taken place in the past. Hopefully what we're going to see is that all the dive shops go and attend each other's events and support them. I mean, ultimately, yes, they're competing against each other to see who can raise the most money. But really, at the end of the day, I mean, everyone's a winner when they're participating in something that's contributing to the community here, right? I've been hearing talk about a street hockey tournament that's going to be coming up in front of Sundowners. Now that they paved the road, it'll be a little interesting. We did this one when it was a dirt road, but now they're going to be having a 2-day tournament where we're going to play some street hockey out there. And then at the end of the month, this all culminates with the Dive Shop Olympics, and we're going to come up with some very fun and interesting events that everyone's going to participate in. We're going to have that here in front of Bananarama because we use a lot of the beach area. We usually do a hot dog eating competition. There's a timed equipment setup. We did a 3-legged snorkel last year. That one was pretty interesting. So it's just creative and fun ways to get people involved. But really, like you said, the ultimate goal is to get our message out there and to provide exposure for what Soul International Foundation is. And what that is academic and athletic programs for these at-risk youth. And, you can really make a difference here on the island with very little. And, I always say that, you can't change the world, but you can change the world that you live in. And this is the world that we choose to live in. And I feel like everybody kind of has an obligation to try to give back to that, and contribute as a part of the community here. So that's the real objective with this.
Okay, so keep it here on 101.1 FM, and we'll be spreading the word about what's coming up next. And Mark, it's nice to see you, and thanks for the work you're doing. And what is the date for the Olympics?
I'm not sure. We need to check our calendar here,
Okay,
but
so
I'm
just keep
thinking.
posted.
I think it's going to be the last weekend in May, if I'm not mistaken. The last weekend in May. But stay tuned, and you can go to soulroatan.org or also onto the radio's website,
CaribbeanCloudRadio.com.
Yep, perfect, and we'll keep updates going on there as well.
That's today's Voices of Roatan. And if you know someone who's making a difference and you'd like for us to interview them, then drop us a line at CaribbeanCloudRadio.com. That's our website, CaribbeanCloudRadio.com. You can search for us on the web by typing in 101.1 FM Blue Wave Radio.